This is one of the most powerful pieces in the piano repertoire. Scriabin followed in Chopin's footsteps in his early days. Among other things, he wrote a set of 12 etudes, like Chopin did twice, meant to challenge the technique of the pianist. And it's often the case with Scriabin that he pushes the piano writing to the limits, but that's where he finds the brightest shining flame of artistic ambition and expression. And this etude, which is the last one in the set, is like a miniature in that type of striving. Patetico relates to the strong emotions, from Greek pathos, and is basically only one long developed passionate statement running through the whole piece with an episode in the middle. Let's get into the music. It's always octaves in the right hand melody, but the real technical challenge is for the left hand, who plays these very wide broken chords with big jumps. And I get the feeling of a big ocean with waves breaking all the time and a strong current of the harmonic tension that's always going somewhere. And then the right hand just pierces through and moves on the water through this. Okay, so harmonically, D sharp minor. It's a bit tough to discern the chords here in sharp lands of 6 sharps, but D sharp is the minor tonic, and then A sharp is the dominant, the D double sharp. It's a common chord. And also we're going to see the 2 chord a lot in E sharp minor, which is in D sharp minor it's E sharp. Half diminished is the 2 to 5 to 1. Like, these are the building blocks that Scriabin uses here. And the melody has this dotted rhythm, like trumpet signal, signature Scriabin dish, dotted upbeat, and octave down and up. And goes straight for the 9 on the D sharp. So it sets up the tension immediately, and then it's a long appoggiatura, and when it resolves, it moves on in the same moment it resolves. So the second chord in the 3rd bar, it's a B major, first inversion, keep D sharp in the bass, so just switch A sharp to the B, you get a major chord, the 6, and it's again the 9. The C sharp is the 9. So next one. So now it's the sequence. We start over. So this is kind of a G sharp minor, but when it resolves to an E, it's an E major. Then the F sharp is the 9 in E major as well. So it's like always the 9 resolving to 8. But here it's a bit ambiguous because with the D sharp pedal point, it feels like a G sharp minor. Here is just a diminished. Well, it's this E sharp diminished triad, but with an appoggiatura, very tense. So growing the tension. So now the 3rd time. So, okay, this is still diminished, fully diminished E sharp, diminished. And moving down to a G sharp, so the D sharp pointing to G sharp in the bass. And we get the last part of the long phrase. It falls down the melody, very fulfilling. So D sharp, E sharp. Here we get the full E sharp half diminished 2nd scale degree with an appoggiatura to the 5, A sharp 7 with an appoggiatura from the sharp 5 or the flat 6. It's also a very tense chord on the dominant. So again, setting up the tension and the resolution comes to the minor tonic, the D sharp minor, in the same movement that we move on musically with the next phrase. So it's the phrase comes again. Second time we get filled up with this deeper bass, to more power and forte. It doesn't say a dynamic in the beginning. It's only like most pianists play it quite loud in the beginning, and it makes sense when it says patetico, pathos, a lot of emotions. It really feels like a strong statement. But then you still need you need to save something to increase for the second time when it actually says crescendo and forte. But it's identically the same music, so reinforces this statement one more time. But you'd have to learn something completely new part for the left hand because it jumps more down. Just a comment about the technical challenges here. In the beginning, wide chord. I can reach this. It would be very hard if I couldn't reach this, I think, in this piece. But this is kind of nice chord to take with the hand. Then you take a lot of this with the right hand. Really helps a lot. I can't reach this, D sharp to G sharp. So you do an arpeggio, and this is tricky bit, basically. So you go, it's basically like 2/16. All the time. Get that movement in the hand. Anyway, the second time we go deep bass. Fortissimo here. So it takes a new turn in the end of the phrase. So instead of going to the dominant, setting up, pointing back to starting over with the tonic, it goes here. So modulate to F sharp major. So then it's kind of cool pivot chords. The G sharp, instead of the 4 of D sharp, it now acts retroactively as the 2 in F sharp when we modulate 2, 5, 1. Okay, here starts this middle section episode. It's a lot of the same elements in the right hand melody. We get this, the contour, and the dotted signal rhythm there. But it's a slightly different character. It goes down to piano, and it's such a nice texture here. Not the hardest part of the etude, but the left hand, I feel this like you're sculpting the sound that emanates from these raw bass notes. It's kind of staying more in one chord, maybe. This F sharp minor, for example. Like you have this strong root, F sharp, and then it just shapes the form of the sound with these very soft notes. And you don't really get exactly this type of writing in Chopin and Liszt because you need this modern piano with a heavy iron frame and very tightly strung strings that ring a long time, and then you can balance the sound with a very soft notes with a pedal, of course, all the time with a pedal. Okay, so harmonically, what's going on? F sharp minor. G sharp is the 9 again. Now it's not, it's more of a chord note, an extension, a F sharp 9, F sharp minor 9 chord. So here we change the balance in the chord slightly with the 5th in the bass. It's still the same chord, but now it's the C sharp in the bass. So he's setting up what's the modulation move here. also the melody has this like curved contour of going down and up. Also, I feel like waves a lot. It's so much nice, like you're leaning forward and then back with a movement. So F sharp minor 7 with C sharp in the bass. Changes the C sharp to a C natural on the way to a B. So we keep these two notes and you reach a B7. And the E is a sus4. So nice progression this. And then the melody, you get to play a lot of melodic notes, so nice. So the B7 points to E, probably E major, where we're coming from with the sharps, but then there's a surprise, it's E minor. And this starts a new sequence, so we get the same material of 4 bars, but now it was in F sharp minor, now it's in E minor, basically the same. So this is the harmonic current we start to feel taking us somewhere on the ocean. Bass again. So it's exactly the same move again. E minor going to A7 with a sus4. And like this, just a small detail, the B flat is the flat 9 on this chord. Hint of melancholy at the end. Okay, now going down to D, we had F sharp, E, F sharp minor, E minor. Now it's D. Now it's D major. So it's a new. And it's something new with the melody. So 2 times we have this long phrase up and down and nice. Now it's starting to get a bit restless again. So we get this anxious, unsettled chords. And I'm just playing the melody and the bass here. It's another very nice harmonic treatment. And guess what it is? It's a circle of fifth. Just look at the bass goes like that. And the melody is again a new sequence, but now it's shorter, only 2 bars. And yeah, it's always a sequence with a circle of fifth in this way. D major to this. No, this is the tritone, the first move. D major back to kind of G sharp 7. To C sharp minor. And this is a sequence. To B major, very low bass here, nice, and fortissimo again. So the last part of the middle section basically finds a way back to D sharp minor with some very anxious material. So it repeats shorter and shorter. In the end, it's just a half a bar. We reach this A flat pedal point in the bass after the B. So just straight on D sharp minor with A flat in the bass. Second inversion. Then the bass stays, and then we get some other chords to increase the tension. Basically a B with A flat in the bass, or a G sharp minor. G sharp minor is the 4, major is the 6. So somewhere between those chords. It's hard to tell with some notes if they're suspensions or if they're chord notes, if they're coloring notes. Anyway, G sharp minor, and then A sharp major dominant. Going through the minor third. And setting up the resolution with the 9 again. So this is now the recapitulation or the return of the theme. It's the same melodic material in the right hand, but it's a new texture. It's more power, repeated chords, fortissimo. Well, when you play the chords should be quite soft actually, because you can't, it would be too much. You need to hear very strong melody and bass. So it doesn't matter, like they could be pianissimo. Okay, so that's the same material from the beginning. The only way to learn this is to just practice for a really long time until it gets into the muscle memory. So you don't really have to think about the notes, because it's so many quick movements of chords in both hands at the same time. This is one of the hardest things in the piece, I think, when you have to go like all those changes is super tough to get right at the same time in both hands. Anyway, musically, when we reach the end, we get something new. So this is the same but now. So here starts the last build-up of the piece, and it's such a great feeling. So it goes down to D sharp in the bass. But harmonically, it's still, I would say, the E sharp half diminished chord. The 2, but with a tonic pedal point. But it's not the E sharp here, it's a suspension on the F sharp. But it's going there, and it's this chord. First here, and then. Last time you drop the E sharp, so it's kind of a G sharp minor instead. So yeah, when it builds up, it's a good place to go down in dynamic. And Scriabin just squeezes out as much as possible from this tension that starts here. Okay, so now it's something new. Now we get this. Just play the melody and the bass. It's syncopation, going chromatically, crunching towards the middle. This is the harmonic skeleton. It goes from the A sharp, which is dominant, and just some chromatic chords in between. The last chord before the dominant is also maximum tension. I'll play this one time. So we have the B major again over D, over A sharp, sorry. G double sharp, looks like a B7, just extra chromaticism. Just on the way down to a G sharp minor 7 here. So it's like the 4 chord over the 5 dominant pedal. It's all just suspensions. Chromatic suspensions. It wants to go to this chord, which is a dominant A sharp. And a lot of tension. And this is like the strongest downbeat in the piece, and I think you should take a lot of time. Triple F, very loud, and it gets to a return of the theme. It's just the final entry of it and the final closure of the statement. We just get that statement repeated an octave below. And now it's just the final flurry left, and it's actually the same type of appoggiatura, just repeated, but yeah, just quickly and going upward. Very nice way. Ends with a bang. And that's Scriabin's Etude in D sharp minor, opus 8, number 12. Thanks for watching, and a special shout out to my Patreon sponsor S. Holmes in this video. Okej, det var bra.